Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Problem Gambler's Corner. This program is produced by the Alabama Council on Compulsive Gambling, and this is where problem gamblers come over to the corner and to talk about recovery, to talk about the things about gambling addiction that affects each one of us. You know, gambling addiction can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. So sit back and relax as we have an opportunity now to talk about gambling addiction and recovery. And you had more credit.
More lines of credit.
More lines of credit. So the monster just gets bigger and bigger. And the monster, because it's an addiction, continues to say, you know, feed me, feed me, Seymour, as the line says. What kind of withdrawal did you go through? What was your life like when you weren't able to get out there to Biloxi?
I had a very busy life, so it really wasn't that, it didn't bother me not to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very excited when I did get the chance to go.
Sure.
But I could generally go when I wanted because,
Right?
you know, it was,
You had no accountability.
I was in the field.
Yeah, no responsibility, no accountability, and you were able to go and gamble whenever you wanted to. Okay, and again, your wife had no idea that any of this was going on.
No one did.
No one did. Okay, you know, that's the thing about we as gambling addicts. We stay under the radar. You know, nobody knows about it. We don't test positive in our urine for gambling addiction. You know,
That's right.
we don't walk in with card marks in our arms. You know, we don't have dice in our eyes. You know, what types of activities were you participating in at the casino?
Mostly blackjack. A little three-card poker and a few other games, but 90% was blackjack.
Sure. And that kind of gave you a feeling of euphoria to say, hey, I remember doing this with cards.
Sure.
I used to do this behind the backstop at school,
That's
after
exactly
school.
right, yeah.
And now I'm back in action.
Right.
So that whole competitive spirit channeled into that addiction. You know, there's nothing wrong with being competitive,
No.
but sometimes we're competitive for the wrong reasons. Okay, all right. I'm visiting today with Ricky Dawson, my good friend from Autauga County, and we're both gambling addicts, and we're just kind of sharing with each other our experiences from gambling, in hope that maybe one of you viewers might have a gambling problem. And the Alabama Council on Compulsive Gambling, their phone number is 334-277-5100. In case you need help, we're there to help you. Ricky, let's keep talking about gambling. Now let's bring it up to the stock market. At which time did you stop going to the casinos and decide, I need something bigger?
I didn't stop going to the casino.
Okay, all
I
right.
continued to go to the casino,
Mm-hmm.
but then also started the stock market.
The stock market, specifically day trading.
Right.
Okay. Is day trading on the stock market gambling?
It's a bigger form of gambling than anything I've ever done.
Okay.
A bigger rush.
Okay.
Cut the computer on in the morning and see
Mhm.
that your money is.
Has doubled,
Yes.
tripled? Okay, all right. And, you know, different gamblers have different things that they like to do. For instance, I was never a card player. Cards would bore me to death, you know. But I played slot machines, which they call the electric crack for, you know, a problem gambler. With me, it's all up here in the brain. But when you started day trading, again, a person that is involved with the stock market for investing, they have advisors, they are buying stocks for the long-term investment.
Right.
Just like buying a house.
Right.
You buy a house and you figure, I'm gonna live in this house 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you know, paid $30,000 for the house. When we sell it, it's worth $200,000. You know, I got something for my investment.
Right.
Okay. But gambling is any time there's chance or skill. So you were taking a risk by purchasing stocks and then hoping that what, in the next day or so, they would
Go up.
go up. Okay?
Sometimes it can be a matter of minutes.
I gotcha.
So you could buy it and it may go up
Mm-hmm.
or down and you would sell in a matter of minutes.
And you'd
or
sell in a
hours.
matter of minutes. Okay, all right. So now it was bigger bets, and in order to, again, if you're an alcoholic, your drug of choice is alcohol. If you're a gambler, your drug of choice is money.
Right.
You can't gamble without money. Okay, so now, if you would please, bring us up to the events that affected your life as you were gambling in the stock market.
Basically, I had access to accounts, large accounts
Mhm.
at my workplace,
Where were you working at the time?
U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Okay, and you were overseeing what area?
You mean
Territory?
territory?
Yeah,
It was 16 counties in West Alabama.
16 counties in West Alabama. How long did you work for them?
Over 33 years.
Over 33 years. Okay, so you had built up relationships with these people.
Right.
Okay, all right. Continue on then. What were the events that led to?
Basically, I would take money from these accounts
Mm-hmm.
and use this money to put in E-Trade
Okay,
and use it to day trade.
okay,
And as you lose money, then you take it from another account,
sure.
and you take enough from this account to repay the first account,
The first account,
but yet get more to put in the market also.
okay.
So once again, it just snowballed.
It just snowballed, yeah. And so you began to borrow, if I can use that word, okay, is that the right word to use?
In my mind.
In your
yes.
mind, yeah, yeah. You know, it's interesting, we say that because there wasn't a time that I didn't write a bad check or borrow money from someone or get my hands on money that I did not honestly think I was gonna give that money. You know, I said, I'm gonna give this all back because it's just that big win.
And I was gonna put it back, but also I knew I was stealing the money,
Mm-hmm.
although I was calling it borrowing.
Exactly, exactly. Because our addiction allows us to make it look much smaller and make it look much less destructive
Right.
than what it really is.
You do full.
It was just a
intent was to
loan.
Put it back.
Yeah.
it was a loan.
Didn't intend to steal it, just gonna borrow it, you know.
That's correct.
And because with gambling, there's no saturation point, Ricky.
No,
It's-
at this time I was still doing the casinos, the stock market, and I also sent money overseas to US Bet and
Mhm.
continue, start back the sports betting.
Okay.
So it was all three at once.
So you are now in all, I mean, you are absolutely absorbed now with the
Yes.
gambling. How were you able to sleep at night?
Oh, well, there was a lot of times you can sleep, but when you wake up,
Mm-hmm.
then you lay there awake a while. But
And
once again, the addiction just, you're gonna pay it back, so
Yeah.
I adjusted to where I could sleep okay.
Did
But
you
it
ever,
was on my mind all the time.
that's what I was just gonna ask. Did you lose time from work because of obsessing over where was I gonna make that next bet? How much was I gonna need? How was I gonna get that money?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I did it at my desk on, the E-trading was done on computer.
On your computer. And the Department of Agriculture never walked in and said, hey, Ricky, we noticed you're doing some day trading here on the computer. Is that a problem?
No,
So again, you
they
were,
didn't know. No.
as I talked about being under the radar, nobody knew, okay? At what time did your wife, at what time in your life did your wife finally realize that all of this had been going on all these years?
It was August 2012.
Okay, all right. Would you bring us up to that date then? So that we can share with our audience the magnitude of where the gambling got you?
Well, basically, what happened in August is that I was taken to a room and sat down with some FBI agents.
Mm-hmm.
And they explained to me, and I said I needed an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew at that point that,
They told you you needed an attorney.
well, I said I needed an attorney.
Okay, okay.
Because they described some
Mhm.
bank accounts,
And you knew
and I knew they
exactly.
knew everything at that point.
Okay, all right.
So I was, they took my car keys of the government car and the office keys,
Mm-hmm.
and I was escorted down to get things out of the car.
Okay.
Then I was let go, and I walked across the street. They told me to get an attorney and to call him back.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked across the street to a restaurant, and I sat there drinking water,
Mm-hmm.
reflecting back on how I got to that point
Sure.
and what I was going to do at this point.
Okay, all right.
Because the money, do you want to know the amount of the money?
Please share with our viewers.
It had escalated to over $6 million.
Oh
over
my Lord.
a 5-year period.
$6 million.
Of taking money from this account and
Mhm.
using it in the stock market and then putting it back. And
All from E-trading.
yeah.
All
And
from
over
day
of
trading.
that amount, close to half of it was put back, and close to the other half
Mm-hmm.
was lost in the
Was
market.
lost in the market. That is absolutely, I mean, although we say in our program that if you've gambled away $1 that you can't afford to lose, you might have a problem. So, at any time, Ricky, during those 5 years, did you, again, did you say, this has got to stop? I've got to stop doing this.
Well, at that point, you can say that, but what you're faced with then is
Right.
criminal activity,
Sure.
bankruptcy, telling everybody
Yeah.
everything, which is what's happened now.
Right.
And
Which is what happened anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you don't just stop and say, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
Come get me. You
Yeah.
don't do that.
And we talk
Keep
about, you keep going, yeah. Because we talk about that gambling addiction can happen to anybody, anywhere, anytime. The community saw you as Ricky Dawson, the church-going father,
Right,
the loving husband, the head of the scout troop,
right.
the baseball coach, the guy that would give you the shirt off his back to help you. And the whole time, all of this activity is going on.